Charles,
Hey, Thomas, how are you?
pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So curious for you. How does it feel? You're playing Terry in the 80s, and you've had so many pursuits in between. You were working on Grimm, you were writing and producing for Dolly. I saw that Christmas on the Square was the best TV movie at the Emmys. It was really wonderful.
Yes.
And then you jump back into this character. How does it feel years later? How does it fit? How do you feel like you've grown within the character?
That's a great question. I wasn't sure going in if this would be right or creatively, but once I heard what they had mapped out for this character and how they were fleshing out this two-dimensional archetypal character and making him this, a character that had with these gray areas and these, inner demons and a great backstory with these relationships with Kreese and, where he was in his life. It just felt like such a wonderful world to just step into and explore. I had those questions that you're asking, say, what will this be like walking on set, becoming Terry Silver again? And then will I be fighting it? Will I be embracing it? When does the Terry Silver that we knew from years ago come out? So all those questions just made it just something I had to say yes to.
I gotta build off of your answer there because that idea of gray areas is so fascinating to me. When you were talking about playing the character originally, laughing at, what was it, the bloody as knuckles line, and then you just had such an over-the-top reaction about it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there are those gray areas? You don't feel like you're just playing like the worst person?
No, Terry doesn't think he's the worst person. Terry thinks he's bringing something needed to the world. I mean, back then it was just like this raw, pure energy. And I think, with John Alvison, the original director, what he was going for, and it was just wanted to keep uncaging me in every scene. And to be able to go back now and go, why was he the way he was? Answer some of those questions. But he still has his philosophy, and you can still track him psychologically to say, I understand why he's doing what he does. He has a certain belief, and he has certain needs that when they aren't fulfilled, it may force him to go down a bad path or, like I said, release one of these inner demons. So that is the fun as an actor to explore, to say that gray area, like I mentioned. And with these guys, whenever you expect something, they will twist it up. You expect he's going one way and then all of a sudden something else happens, so it was a collaborative, fun process to be able to be on this journey with them.
You take us on such a wild ride this season. I mean, it starts off, you treat us to a musical performance. There's some moments this year that it just feels like every single time I'm amazed, like I'm glued to the screen. What was it like to play it? What were some of your highlights?
Well, that's, again, those, when they talked about, the art he's collected or his musicianship, and you're going, well, that takes, because I know what that's like, that takes years of devotion. That takes the discipline he had as a martial artist, he brought to these other art forms. And again, all those beautiful distractions in life you're trying to fulfill your life with, maybe to try to avoid something or bury something. Terry's been on that path. So that we get to show some of those moments that you go, oh, this guy has lived a very full life. Now, when are those things, that structure, when does that start to fall apart? What makes the structure that he's had his life to keep him the person he wants to be? When does that start to dissipate? All of a sudden he becomes the person, he's been fighting against his whole life.
You were actually a martial artist coming in, right? Even for the original movie. How have you found that balancing all of your pursuits? You have so many different things that you're doing.
I started martial arts very early, getting scraps in the schoolyard, and it got me out of trouble and kept me on the right path. And it's something it has given my life, discipline and focus and structure. And it's carried over to everything I do in my life in terms of, being an actor or being a writer. It's the same type of thing. The martial arts and the arts, there's such a similarity, and it's a way of looking at the world, and it gives you that drive every day to get up and say, I have a purpose and this is what I'm going to do. In fact, if I'm not doing it, even when I'm, in my office working, it's like I miss a day or two because of deadlines, I'm swamped, and it's like, man, I got to get to that gym. I got to do something, to release it all. So it's good therapy. It just makes it, for me, it's led to a healthier, more wholesome life.
I think you're doing fantastic work. I'm so glad it was you on the other end of that phone call. We weren't quite sure. And it's amazing to see this season, the journey that you go on. I'm sure people are going to love it and respond to it, hopefully positively towards you as well. And thank you so much.
Exactly. Thank you. Nice to meet you.